Radiation is a type of energy that comes in waves or particles. You can think of it like a kind of invisible energy that spreads through space. This energy is everywhere, and it can come from many sources, both natural and man-made. There are different types of radiation, and some can be helpful while others can be harmful. Understanding radiation can help us use it safely. There are two main types of radiation: ionizing and non-ionizing. Ionizing radiation is more powerful and can change the atoms in our bodies. This can cause harm by damaging our cells or DNA. Non-ionizing radiation is weaker and doesn't have enough energy to change atoms. It can still have some effects, but it's usually not as dangerous as ionizing radiation. One common type of ionizing radiation is gamma radiation, which comes from the center of atoms. Gamma rays are very powerful and can go through our bodies. This can be dangerous if we're exposed to too much. Another example is X-rays, which are commonly used in medical scans. While X-rays help doctors see inside our bodies, too much exposure can cause harm over time. X-rays are used frequently in medicine, but doctors carefully manage the number of scans a person receives to avoid unnecessary radiation exposure. Non-ionizing radiation is less harmful than ionizing radiation. The most familiar example is sunlight. Sunlight includes ultraviolet or UV radiation, which can help our bodies make vitamin D, but too much UV can cause sunburn and increase the risk of skin cancer. Another example is the radiation from microwaves, which we use to heat food. Microwaves are non-ionizing and are not harmful in small amounts. We are all exposed to radiation every day. This is called background radiation, and it comes from natural sources like the sun, rocks, and even the air we breathe. For example, radon is a gas that comes from the earth and can be found in some homes. While it's dangerous in high amounts, most people are not harmed by the natural levels of radiation they encounter. Background radiation is present in most of our surroundings, from the food we eat to the materials in our homes. Radiation is a natural part of life, and even though it sounds scary, we are exposed to it all the time. We don't usually notice it, and it's generally not dangerous at low levels. However, if you get too much radiation, like from an accident or from certain medical treatments, it can be harmful. While radiation is mostly harmless, it can be dangerous in certain situations. One of the biggest concerns is when there's a nuclear accident, like the one at Chernobyl in 1986. In that disaster, a nuclear reactor exploded, releasing large amounts of radiation into the environment. This caused a lot of health problems for people nearby, including an increased risk of cancer. The effects of such accidents can last for decades, impacting both the environment and human health. A more recent event was the Fukushima nuclear disaster in Japan in 2011. After a huge earthquake and tsunami, the Fukushima nuclear power plant released radioactive materials into the air. While the long-term health effects are still being studied, it shows that even controlled systems that use radiation can have risks. These disasters highlight the importance of safe, reliable technology and the need for strict safety regulations in industries that use radiation. Radiation is used in medicine to treat diseases and help doctors diagnose problems in the body. One of the most common uses of radiation is in X-ray machines. X-rays help doctors see bones and organs inside the body. They are very useful for finding broken bones or other health problems. However, too many X-rays can add up to dangerous levels of radiation. Doctors try to use them carefully to keep people safe. X-rays and CT scans allow for detailed images of the body, which helps doctors detect problems early, making them essential in modern medicine. Radiation is also used in cancer treatment. Doctors use high-energy radiation to destroy cancer cells. This type of radiation therapy can help shrink tumors and treat cancers, but it's important to be careful and limit exposure to healthy tissues in the body. Advances in technology have made radiation therapy more targeted, which helps minimize damage to healthy cells while treating the cancer more effectively. Another way we use radiation is in nuclear power plants. These plants use a process called nuclear fission, where atoms are split to create energy. This energy is then used to produce electricity. Nuclear power can provide a lot of energy and doesn't create harmful pollution like burning coal, but nuclear power also has risks. For example, nuclear waste can be radioactive for thousands of years, and accidents can happen, as we saw with the disasters at Chernobyl and Fukushima. Nuclear power plants are also designed with strict safety features to contain radiation and prevent leaks. When these plants operate correctly, they provide a large amount of energy while minimizing environmental impact. However, the challenge of storing radioactive waste safely remains a significant issue. Even in everyday life, we are exposed to small amounts of radiation. Smoking is a big one. Cigarette smoke contains radioactive particles, and people who smoke have a higher chance of developing lung cancer. Cell phones also give off radiation, but the levels are very low, and so far studies have not shown that they cause serious health problems. The radiation emitted by these devices is non-ionizing and does not have enough energy to cause significant harm. Not all radiation is dangerous. In fact, many forms of radiation are necessary for life. For example, sunlight gives us warmth and light. Without the sun's radiation, life on Earth wouldn't be possible. Radiation also plays a big role in science and medicine. For example, it helps doctors treat cancer and allows us to generate electricity with nuclear power. Many plants, animals, and people rely on sunlight to survive, so radiation is essential to our environment. Even though radiation is often useful, it's important to be safe. There are rules and safety guidelines to limit how much radiation people are exposed to. Workers in places like hospitals and nuclear power plants wear special clothing and take precautions to avoid too much radiation. For instance, people who work with X-rays in hospitals wear lead aprons to protect themselves. These precautions ensure that people stay safe while benefiting from radiation's uses. The government and organizations like the World Health Organization, or WHO, set limits on how much radiation people can safely be exposed to. These guidelines help protect workers and the public from unnecessary radiation. Doctors also try to limit radiation in medical treatments by only using it when absolutely necessary and choosing the lowest possible dose. Patients are often informed about the risks and benefits of any procedure involving radiation, ensuring they understand the need for safety. There are many myths and misunderstandings about radiation. Some people worry about things like cell phones or microwave ovens, but studies show that these sources of radiation are not dangerous at low levels. Radiation from these sources is so weak that it doesn't have a significant effect on our health. Educating the public about radiation is crucial in reducing unnecessary fear and helping people make informed decisions. It's important to understand that radiation is all around us, and not all radiation is harmful. In fact, many kinds of radiation are safe and useful. We use radiation in medicine, power generation, and even to help us understand the universe. The key is to use it responsibly and safely. Radiation is a natural part of life, and while some types can be dangerous, many are harmless or even beneficial. It's important to understand the different types of radiation and how they affect our health. In many cases, radiation is used to help us, like in medical treatments and power generation. By following safety guidelines and using radiation carefully, we can enjoy its benefits without putting ourselves at risk. Radiation isn't something to fear, as long as we handle it the right way. With knowledge and proper precautions, we can continue to use radiation safely and wisely in our daily lives.